Hello, second graders. This week, your stories are some fables that you'll be reading. One of them is called Half Chicken, and the other one is called Lion and the Mouse. And I have a different one I'm going to share with you called The Little Red Ant and the Great Big Crumb. So I hope you enjoy our story today.
The story for today is called The Little Red Ant and the Great Big Crumb, and it is a Mexican fable. It's retold by Shirley Climo. And since it's a fable, that means they're going to try to teach you a lesson and see if you can figure out what the lesson is by the end of the story. And since it is a Mexican fable, there are some Spanish words thrown in there here and there. So I hope you enjoy the story. The Little Red Ant and the Great Big Crumb. Once, in a cornfield in Mexico, there lived a little red ant. She shared an anthill with her 999 cousins. They looked exactly alike, except for the little red ant. She was a bit smaller than the others. Early one fall morning, all the ants crawled from their anthill. They paraded single file across the field looking for food to store for the winter. Because her legs were shorter than the other red ants, she was last in line. "Amigo," she called, "wait for me." "Quick," scolded the others, "pronto." The larger ants began to return to the nest, carrying scraps of corn on top of their heads. They left nothing behind for the little red ant. Then she spied something yellow under a leaf. It was the color of corn, but it smelled much sweeter. The ant guessed at once what it was. "Torta," explained the little red ant. Perhaps a bird had dropped the cake from the sky. Perhaps a mouse had dug it from the ground. But now this wonderful crumb of cake belonged to her. "Lucky me," said the little red ant. She tried to push the crumb. "Oof," she puffed. She tried to pull it. "Ugh," she panted. She sighed and said, "I need someone strong to carry my crumb for me." The little red ant covered the cake with the leaf again, and she set off down the row of cornstalks to find someone strong to help her. The ant had not gone far when she spied a log. "Oh, a log is nice for resting," she said, climbing up on it. "Get off!" The ant jumped down. She discovered a pointy nose at one end of the log, and at the other end she found a twitching tail. The ant guessed at once what it was. Think you know what it is? "El lagarto!" exclaimed the little red ant. "Buenos dias," the ant said politely to the lizard. "Good morning. I am looking for someone strong." El lagarto puffed his cheeks. "I am so strong I can blow down an anthill." "No, not that," the ant cried. "I want you to carry my big crumb of cake." "Too cold," grumbled the lizard. "I'm stiff as a stick until El Sol warms me up." "Then El Sol is stronger than you are," said the ant. "I shall ask the sun to help me." "We can wait for him together," El Lagarto whispered. He flicked out his long tongue. "Come closer." "No, gracias," the ant said quickly. "No, thank you." She did not want to be breakfast for a hungry lizard. The little red ant ran down the row as fast as her 6 legs would take her. She had not gone very far when she spied a cobweb stretched between 2 cornstalks. Shining through the web was the sun. "Lucky me," cried the ant. "There is El Sol caught in a net." She scrambled up the stalk. "Stop shaking my ladder." The little red ant spied something black and yellow skipping across the web. The ant guessed at once what it was. I bet you know. "La araña!" exclaimed the little red ant. "Perdón," said the ant to the spider. "Excuse me. I am climbing to the sun to ask him to carry my crumb of cake. El Sol is very strong." "Foolish ant," scoffed the spider. "No one can climb so high." Anyhow, I know someone stronger than El Sol. Who? Asked the ant. El Gallo. He wakes the sun every morning. Then I shall ask him to help me, the ant declared. Stay a while, La Araña coaxed, and keep me company. The little red ant gazed up at the spider. The sun had moved higher in the sky and no longer seemed caught in the web. A fly was caught instead. No, gracias, said the ant quickly. She did not want La Araña to tie her up like the fly. No, thank you. The little red ant backed down the stalk and hurried on her way. She had not gone very far when she stumbled over the roots of two tall, thin trees. ¿Qué pasa? A scratchy voice demanded. What's happening? The ant rubbed her eyes. She saw that the roots were really claws. She saw that the trees were really legs. She looked up and saw a fierce face with beady eyes bending over her. A yellow beak snapped open and shut, and a red topknot bobbed up and down. The ant guessed at once what it was. Do you know what it is? El gallo! Exclaimed the little red ant. Por favor, the ant begged the rooster. Please, don't eat me. Ugh, ants taste horrible, squawked El gallo. Then will you carry my crumb of cake for me? I'm too busy, the rooster I'm too busy. The rooster cocked his head. Did you say cake? Si, said the little red ant. Yes. Cake tastes delicious, crowed El gallo. I shall eat your crumb myself. But, the ant began, where is it? The rooster ran about in circles. Awk! He screeched suddenly. Listen! To what? Asked the ant. To that dreadful noise. It's the chicken chaser. Awk! Flapping his wings, the rooster flew up and over the cornstalks. What do you think is a chicken chaser? The ant was glad to see El Gallo go before he found her great big crumb. Lucky me, said the little red ant, and hurried on her way. She had not gone very far, and she came upon something big and bristly. Its nose was pointed to the sky, and the dreadful noise was coming from its mouth. The ant guessed at once what it was. Do you think you know? El coyote! Exclaimed the little red ant. Hola! The ant shouted to the coyote. Hello! El coyote stopped in the middle of a howl and stared down his nose at the ant. Don't bother me. I'm singing the sun a bedtime story. The coyote threw back his head, ready to howl again. You must be strong to sing so loudly, said the ant. Will you carry my big crumb of cake for me? Not now, said El Coyote. Maybe tomorrow or next week. But that might be too late. Suddenly the coyote pricked up his ears, and the hair on his back stood on end. Mira, he yelled. Look, it's the terrible hombre. El Coyote tucked his tail between his legs and dashed off through the cornfield. The little red ant was sad to see him go. Then she shrugged and started on her way again. But something was moving down the road toward her. It wore boots on its feet and a straw hat on its head. The ant guessed at once what it was. El hombre! Exclaimed the little red ant. From far away, the man looked too small to help even an ant. But the nearer he came, the larger he got. Soon he was taller than the cornstalks, and his shadow stretched halfway down the row. He grew so tall that the little red ant could not even see the top of his hat. Senor, called the ant, please carry my cake for me. The man did not hear her. He kept walking. Now the little red ant looked up and saw something terrifying. The heel of his huge boot hung over her head. Alto! Exclaimed the little red ant. Stop! The man did not hear her. He kept walking. So the little red ant took a skip and a hop and caught hold of his shoelace. Then she ran up his leg. The man rubbed his knee. So the little red ant scurried up his shirt. The man scratched his chest. So The little red ant skittered over his shoulders. The man slapped his neck. So the little red ant crept into his ear. She shouted very loud, "Help me!" "Yee!" yelled the man. "Ticklebugs!" He shook his head and jumped up and down. The straw hat flew from his head and the little red ant tumbled on top of it. The man ran across the cornfield still shouting, "Ticklebugs!" The ant watched him go. "Adios, senor," she called. "Goodbye." Then she thought of something quite surprising. "I frightened el hombre. Who scares el coyote? Who chases el gallo? Who wakes el sol? Who warms el lagarto? Who can blow down an anthill? So I am the strongest of all." The little red ant crawled off the hat. She followed her trail back through the cornstalks just the way she had come. At last she reached her crumb of cake and pulled off the leaf. "Ah," said the ant, sniffing. The cake was warm and sticky and smelled sweeter than ever. She took a big, big breath. Then ever so slowly she lifted the crumb. She lifted it up and up until she could put it on top of her head. Then step by step, inch by inch, all by herself, by the light of the moon, the ant carried her wonderful cake home to the anthill. She feasted on the crumb all winter long, and when springtime came, she was exactly the same size as her cousins. "Lucky me!" exclaimed La Hormiga, the ant. The end.
Hi, second graders. I hope you enjoyed that Mexican fable and were able to figure out what you were supposed to learn by the end. So that was our lesson for this week, and I'll see you again next week. Bye.